Hey everybody, this is Chad the Gaming Dad here on Dad's Games, and this is another Friday night edition of Father Knows Best. Friday Father Knows Best, that's what we're doing. This week I've been watching things and I see a ton of comments and stuff, not toward me, but just in general on other videos and things. A lot of this fanboy stuff. So here we go. A little bit of fatherly advice about the fanboys and all the hate that's going on the internet. You know, everywhere you look, the internet is full of hate and people saying nasty things to each other. And most of it is just people somehow taking a product, like a console, and turning it personal, as if you're attacking them. Like if you say you don't like PlayStation and you're a PlayStation owner, you feel like they're attacking me. They're saying they don't like me. But that's not the case. And, really, it boils down to, and people have said this before, it really just boils down to people don't have the money, or maybe they don't want to go and buy every single console that's out there, every single game that comes out. You pick and choose the stuff that you're interested in, and honestly, for most people's budget and everything, you just don't buy everything that's out there. So you pick one, and no one wants to feel like they picked the wrong one, and so they defend it. And it's kind of ridiculous in certain terms because they defend it, like I said, as if you're attacking them. So I understand where it's coming from, and I understand why people act this way. But on these Father Knows Best videos, what I'm basically doing is giving you my take as a guy who's seen it for quite a while and has a unique perspective on it. So my take on this is that, you know, just like in high school, now, it's been a while since I've been in high school. You may be in high school now. You know, there's cliques. There's groups of people that exclude the other ones and only include a few, really only there to make themselves feel special. Because everybody wants to feel special. Everybody wants to feel good. So, of course, you try to join a clique. You try to join something where you can be, I'm in here, but you can't be in here because you're no good and I'm the best, and that whole thing. And, you know, just like high school with all that, you go back to a high school reunion years later, and sometimes the really nerdy kid or the really awkward kid is now the one who is in the best shape, looks the best, has the most successful job. I mean, things change over time, you know, things change. And the same thing goes for your games. And what I'm trying to tell you is, going crazy and being a fanboy, you can love games. You can be a complete fan of everything. Like me personally, I have always liked Nintendo stuff. And I will continue to like Nintendo stuff. But if someone says Nintendo stinks, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to, you know, go die or something stupid like that. That's just ridiculous, right? So here's a couple examples. Let's go take it all the way back. We've got the original fight, right? Atari versus Intellivision. Atari and Intellivision, well, who was better? Who was what? Problem is both sides of the argument are true. Atari had more games and had more consoles out in the wild. More people owned it. More people played it. The Intellivision had better graphics at the time, may have been a little bit more advanced, but it didn't have that many games, and there really weren't that many of them around. I mean, there were a lot, but not to the extent of Atari, right? And so back then, you'd have the fights, Atari's better, Intellivision's better, no. You're both right. But nowadays, I'm playing the Atari like crazy, and actually, a tip for you guys out there who's, you know, into collecting, something really good to collect for right now these days is the Atari, simply because everybody's so focused on Nintendo and Super Nintendo and stuff like that. The Atari gets overlooked because it's a little bit older, and some of the younger kids these days that are into retro collecting, they don't want to go quite that retro because, yeah, the Atari does take a little bit of imagination to enjoy. But let me tell you, I'm having a great time with it. And I was an Intellivision kid. No, not an Intellivision kid playing an Atari. Here's a funny story. Okay, I loved games. I was playing my Intellivision. I was playing my NES. I was playing all this stuff. And then I'm getting ready to go to college. And the Genesis is out. And of course, Genesis does what Nintendo don't, and it's got blast processing and blah, 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 blah. So of course, I wanted a Genesis. Why? Because I sure as heck didn't want to play that little kiddie machine the Super Nintendo, it's for kids. And my God, they committed the ultimate sin. Mortal Kombat came out on both systems, and they had sweat in Super Nintendo? No blood? What is this, sweat? So, of course, I went with the Sega, as did most of the people I knew. When I was in college, most guys' girlfriends that thought we were stupid for still playing games were like, oh, you guys just playing Sega, you guys just playing Sega. No one ever said Super Nintendo. Well, now we go back and we're looking, nowadays, I didn't have a Super Nintendo back then, but over the last few years, wow, did I find out that, Sega's claim of doing the Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Actually, the Super Nintendo did quite a lot of things that the Genesis don't. The last thing I'm looking at here is when we had a Dreamcast. Of course, they came out first, and then the PS2 came out and just totally blew them out of the water because mainly the PS2 had a DVD player in it that the Dreamcast didn't have, and so of course the PS2 sold a ton. And everybody was like, Dreamcast, that stinks, that's stupid, who wants that crap? Get rid of it, right? I had a Dreamcast. I don't have one now because I sold it to a used game store, probably for some PS2 games. I wish I had it back now. And in order to get those games that I used to have on the Dreamcast back, it's going to cost money. Good money, too. Because people are now collecting for Dreamcast because it's one of those consoles that had a few gems on it that you can't get anywhere else. So instead of back in the day hating on it, I should have just kept it and said, well, this was good, but I'll get this too. I found myself just like everybody else when you're younger, picking sides and going to battle. Doesn't need to be like that. So then we have the PS2, right? It's supposed to be the greatest thing ever until the Xbox came out. Then the Xbox came out and we played Halo and stuff like that, and it blew the graphics away of PS2. And it's like, holy crap, I'm getting an Xbox. This PS2 is garbage, right? So I'm playing the Xbox. Now, mind you, like I said before about Nintendo, I had the GameCube too. The GameCube also had better graphics than the PS2 in some games and had a lot of exclusive Nintendo games that you couldn't get anywhere else. So after that generation, I said, that's it. I'm an Xbox guy. I'm going to have my Nintendo console because I always have a Nintendo console. But I'm going to be an Xbox guy. I'm not going with the PS3. And then when they announced the PS3 and it's like, oh, it's expensive. It's like, you guys, we don't like you. You're too expensive. I'm going Xbox. So, of course, I was an Xbox guy. Move into the PS3 and the 360, okay? I get a 360. I've had 3 of them fail on me now. And I don't mistreat my stuff. It sits on a nice wire rack, nice and cool, everything. They fail. I've had a couple of red rings, and I had one that had the graphics card error. Right? So I'm on my 4th Xbox 360 right now. I hope I don't have to buy 360 of them. I'm on my 4th one, and I don't use it very much because when the PS3 Slim came out and the price was reasonable, I bought one of those and fell in love with the PS3. Wait a minute. Just a little while ago, I was an Xbox guy. I didn't want anything to do with PS3. They announced a high price tag. I said, shame. But then I wound up liking the PS3 more than the 360. Go figure. So, of course, we move into today, and now I have a PS4. I don't have an Xbox One. Is it because the Xbox One is terrible or doesn't have any good games? No. I actually have grown to the point now where I can admire games and systems without having to choose sides and go to war and be a fanboy, because the Xbox One and the PS4 are practically the same thing. It all boils down to which games you like, which console has more of the exclusives that you want to play. And for me right now, I like a lot of the indie games, and I like a lot of the PS4 exclusives, so that's why I have a PS4. But I do not doubt for 1 minute that someday in the future, I will probably have an Xbox One as well. And so why hate on it now? Especially when it comes to retro games, and as the current games of today become retro tomorrow, you look back and you realize that the games right now that you're calling crap and all the people that are playing them are stupid and all this other stuff, tomorrow you're going to be playing those same games and you're going to be loving it. Trust me, you will. Every single one of us is a gamer. I know people try to determine who's a real gamer, who's not a real gamer. If you like playing video games, I don't care whether you play them on your phone or you play them on an Xbox or a PlayStation or retro games or even on your PC. Of course, we have the crowd now with the elitist PC people. But honestly, I play games on the PC too. I play them on the PC. I play them on the PS4. I like them all. They're all good. They're all games, and the people who play these games are all gamers. And once we realize that and quit fighting with each other, things are going to get better and better. Now, when you see something wrong, when you see something that's a bad business practice from like a certain company or something, calling that out is absolutely necessary. We should all watch out for our pastime that we love, our hobby that we love. We should all take very good care of it. And if you see somebody out there who's trying to take advantage of all of us, gamers, not just the ones that like PlayStation, not just the ones that like Xbox, but they're taking advantage of all of us gamers, call that stuff out. Absolutely call that stuff out. But if you try to pick sides and you keep fighting with each other, we're not going to help our favorite pastime, our hobby. We're not going to help it. All we're going to do is hurt it. Imagine if we keep fighting all the time and things really just get worse and worse and worse all the time. What would happen to all of us gamers in the future if there were no gaming? What would we do? So what I'm trying to tell you here in my fatherly advice today is just calm down. No need to fight. Everybody's a gamer, and enjoy yourself. And believe me, you'll be playing the other system someday. You will. You're going to be playing that system that you think sucks right now. You'll play it later. You will. So that's it this week for Father Knows Best. I hope you enjoyed that. Something to think about. Let me know in the comments if you've had the same experience, or, of course, let me know if you think I'm an idiot. You might. I might get some of those too. It's okay. It's fine. You let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like the video, give me a like. If you have an idea, something you'd like me to talk about, leave it in the comments as well. But until then, remember, you never outgrow video games. I'm Chad the Gaming Dad, and this is Dad's Games. Thank you for watching, and so long, everybody.